Welcome to Velocity, the Vista Chamber podcast. I'm your host, Chamber CEO Rachel Beld, and it's my privilege to interview the movers, shakers, and change makers impacting Vista and beyond. Joining me today is Matt Koumaras. Matt has been the president and CEO for the Boys and Girls Club of Vista since 2007. And under Matt's leadership, the Boys and Girls Club of Vista has received several national honors, including the Gold Gateway to Impact Award from Boys and Girls Clubs of America for exceptional program achievements. The club's budget has grown from $700,000 to $1.7 million and expanded from 2 to 4 sites in Vista and Oceanside. Matt's also a member of the Boys and Girls Club of Vista Foundation, which is a separate nonprofit that focuses on planned giving to increase the long-term sustainability of the club. Matt was selected as Nonprofit Administrator of the Year in 2014 from the San Diego and Imperial County Offices of Education. And in 2017, the Boys and Girls Club of Vista was honored at the Vista Chamber's Heroes of Vista event as the Nonprofit of the Year. And then last year, you all received a longevity award for 50 years of Vista Chamber membership, which is awesome. Matt is also really involved in the community. He's a past president of the Rotary Club of Vista, and he currently serves on the board for Sunrise Kiwanis Club of Vista. And he's a member of St. Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Cardiff, and he's active with Project Mexico and AHEPA, the American Hellenic Educational Progressive Association. And he also teaches grant writing through Miracosta College. I could take that class, I think. And then lastly, Matt resides in Vista with his wife Denise and their daughters. He enjoys spending time with his family and enjoys playing badly distorted guitar and even worse, hockey. Welcome, Matt. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So wait, tell me about the worst hockey. What's up with that?
Well, I'm up there in age. I'm in my 50s now, and the people I'm playing with are generally Marines in their 20s and 30s, and I'm pretty much just a moving pylon out there.
Got it.
Slowly moving pylon. I guess, yeah.
Got it.
Pylons can move slowly.
Well, that's my husband plays a lot of soccer, a lot of pickup soccer with a lot of guys younger than him. And pretty much every time he goes to play soccer, I'm just waiting for the phone to ring. Like, who tore an ACL? There's something, like just waiting. So I get
tore
it.
my ACL this January.
You did? Oh no. Well, hopefully it's feeling better.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so for people who maybe don't know, tell us, what is the Boys and Girls Club? Who does it serve, and where is it?
Sure. Boys and Girls Club, we're a local nonprofit, part of a national organization of, I believe it's 4,300 clubs.
Wow.
We serve boys and girls ages 5 all the way up to 18. And we offer programs that focus on academic success, so help with homework or STEM education, character development. We have a lot of leadership groups that help out in the club and community. And then also healthy lifestyles programs, which have been a core focus the last couple of years with the pandemic, helping kids with boosting their self-esteem, confidence, and helping them become more resilient. That's
great. And it's like you have 4 sites. So tell me about the 4 sites.
Yeah. Our main site is on California Avenue. And we've been at that location since '66. And then we have 2 middle school sites where we offer AM and PM programs at Vista Magnet Middle School and Madison Middle School. And then we have one small community center at Raintree Park on Townsite in Vista. And the main site on California and Raintree are open when school's out in addition. So we do day camp programs there. And then in addition to that, we also do all the middle school sports programs for Vista Unified. So it's at every middle school except Roosevelt that we divvy that off to the Boys and Girls Club of Oceanside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot. How many staff members do you have?
We have about 30 people on staff.
Wow.
Yeah, 12 full-time, 18 part-timers, and a lot of great volunteers.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. So why is the mission of the Boys and Girls Club important to you personally?
It's kind of twofold. One, grew up in the 70s where latchkey kid, came from, a good childhood, but we didn't have a Boys and Girls Club. So I was just kind of on my own with my little sister after school, getting off the bus. And a lot of times we didn't have the best supervision. And I was in charge of kind of keeping an eye on her. And sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I did. So there was an incident that happened and it really made me wish I had a Boys and Girls Club growing up. So that there's that fold of it. And then, everything's okay now, but a kid really shouldn't be in charge of another kid growing up.
Yeah.
And then when I got older, went to school, and after graduating college, I worked in the newspaper industry. And I really wanted to be a writer and journalist, that kind of thing. I was into music and sports and that sort of thing. And I was playing in a couple bands, and I got an opportunity to become a music writer. And through that opportunity as being a music writer and a journalist, I got to meet a lot of kids at our shows, because most of the fans of our groups tended to be 13-year-old boys. Middle school boys, they all look like McLovin from Superbad. I couldn't quite understand it, but they were in awe of us and our music. And I really enjoyed, one, that they were all ages shows, because a lot of places you couldn't go if you were a young kid. And then two, just hearing about their lives, their stories, and kind of what they're going through, that really inspired me too. And a lot of my friends at that time were also becoming teachers. So I could see the writing on the wall with the newspaper industry probably changing dramatically in the future. So I decided to go to school to become a teacher. And it's through that experience that I got to engage more with kids. I was an English teacher for a few years. And my first year of teaching, I was a bilingual tutorial teacher, which is very much like a Boys and Girls Club type experience, helping kids with their homework. What made it a challenge was I'm technically not bilingual. I speak French, but none of them spoke French. So I did a lot of smiling, pointing, that sort of thing. And I really loved that experience of getting to know them. And from that kind of led me to become an education director at a Boys and Girls Club up in Santa Cruz. Love that experience. And I love that, just a cast of characters with me at the Boys and Girls Club, getting to know them, having fun. That was, we were doing educational stuff, but also having fun. And then an opportunity came up for a executive director job there, and I jumped on that. And it's interesting, kind of trial by fire, a lot different than teaching, but a lot of the same skill sets involved with that. And that kind of led me to where I am now. So from the classroom experience as kind of small scale, now I get to meet many more kids and families, and hopefully have a good impact on their lives.
How many students or kids are in the Boys and Girls Club maybe in 1 year?
In 1 year, about 800.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big impact, especially multiply that since 2007. That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids. And what's cool about it is, too, when they're starting at 5, you get to see a lot of these kids year after year and get to know them even with a bigger impact. And I just love seeing the kids get off the bus every day, running. They're not supposed to run, running to the front door with smiles. Yeah. And then the best part is when parents come to pick them up, they don't want to leave. So it's just very rewarding.
Yeah. How has being involved in Boys and Girls Clubs, how's that impacted you as a parent? Because I know you have your 2 daughters, and they're nearly grown and very lovely. So how has that impacted you as a parent?
Well, it's helped my family out tremendously, because both of them attended our main site and then at Vista Magnet, and gave them a lot of opportunities they normally wouldn't have had. They learned how to play the violin there. They learned how to, they joined a Girl Scout troop there. It gave them the confidence to meet with other kids, different backgrounds, and just really, really helped our family out so we can, be working. My wife was working. We're a 2-income household. And it's just really benefited the kids, and that giving them opportunities to have, instead of just hanging out at home, being on the computer all day, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Are you struggling to retain or attract frontline talent? Have you created a great work environment, but job seekers simply don't know about it? If so, Frontline Careers is here to help. Our assessment helps you improve your work environment and gives you the opportunity to earn our Frontline Friendly certification, which signifies you as a top employer. Now, through December 31st, all Vista Chamber members get 50% off of their assessment. And if you mention this ad, you'll get an additional 5% off. The time is now. Email us at info@frontlinecareers.com or visit us at frontlinecareers.com.
Elias, I got an idea. We're going to do a podcast. It's called Industry Insights. That's what everybody doing these days, like a podcast. But who are we going to target? What?
Well, this one is different because this one's going to target content creators.
Content creators? So that means film, television, animators, AI artists, everything, huh?
Yeah, all of them. We can inspire all of them. We'll bring some high caliber people in here. Not only will they learn how to get into the industry, but how to be successful.
But the thing is, sponsorship. We have to go after things, and how we're going to do that?
Yeah, the Film Hub. We're going to sponsor it. We'll do it right here at the Film Hub in downtown Vista. Yeah, we'll sponsor it too.
Great.
Yeah, we got the podcast studio right here. We got stages, whatever you want to use. We got it here. And right here in film-friendly Vista. Where else would you do it? And you know where they can listen to it?
Where? Tell me.
Go YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcast.
What about Metaverse?
Meta what?
What do you, in the time that you've been at the club, we've been through recessions, then we've had good economic times, worse, bad economic times, medium economic times, then we had the pandemic. How do you feel? I recently had Kevin Humphrey on the show, and we talked a lot about kids' mental health and how kids are doing today. How have you seen mental health challenges or mental health issues reflected in the kids at the club? And how are you dealing with that?
Sure. Great question. You can definitely tell that when we first brought kids back, we were the first Boys and Girls Club to reopen in San Diego County,
wow,
which was awesome. And it was at a lot smaller ratio group, but we had 9 kids to 1 staff. But you can definitely see the kids that, missed out those first couple grades in school, especially in elementary school. Mm-hmm. A lot of the socialization skills aren't quite there yet. And then in high school, you could definitely tell with this, like the single subjects, that they're struggling with a lot of math and science and that sort of thing. But in terms of mental health, just by bringing them back in that group with a lot of other kids, peers, adults that care about them, the good thing is they're pretty resilient. They've got time on their side, and you can automatically see some of the changes there. And by taking the masks off, that's helped out quite a bit too. Mm-hmm. And we have a ton of resources to help them with trauma-informed cares. We've got a program called Smart Moves, which is a wellness program which really focuses on self-esteem, conflict resolution, and learning those skills to realize, that they're in control of their decisions and how they react to certain things. And life isn't always going to be easy, but if you go in knowing that if you, fight through things, get through things, you're going to be stronger in the long run. So.
Yeah. So the students are really just, these kids are really learning resiliency and just leaning into that. I'm impressed by the kids I see through my kids' friends, my own children's friends, the kids we see through our Rising Star program, the kids we see at the club. It's just amazing to see all the resiliency. So
yeah, and we're still checking in with them.
Yeah.
On, we do a thing called a mood elevator, just seeing where they are that day, because we all dealt with things differently, and
mm-hmm.
Some people got by okay, some are still struggling,
yeah.
and it's good to check in with them and be there for them.
And it's good to know too that it's not just, all right, we did the mental health stuff, now we're moving on. It's a lifelong process to take care of your mental health. And so I think that's one of the good things from the pandemic that shifted, is that people have opened their eyes to the importance of that and how that really ties into the rest of your physical health and everything else.
Yeah. And that's one good thing that's come out. And especially with our membership with Boys and Girls Clubs of America, they've been able to provide us with connections through NAMI, and also they have a connection with New York Life for a kind of it's called Be There Resiliency program to help kids deal with grief.
Yeah. Good. So what's the best part of your job?
Well, besides seeing the kids come and not want to leave, I really think it's just getting to know the kids and just hearing their stories and how we're able to help them. And I lead a group. It's a K-Kids club. It's a service organization. We meet on Thursdays, so we do a lot of projects in the community. I really enjoy leading that group because, like last year, we were able to support the SPCA. They wanted to help out with Ukraine, so we did a donation drive for kids in Ukraine, and that really inspires me to see that they're thinking about other people besides themselves, and they want to help and they want to make a difference. And to me, that means the kids are all right.
Yeah, that's great. So, but what's the hardest part of your work?
Well, I try to remind me, when I first started here in Vista, I came from a completely different Boys and Girls Club situation up in Santa Cruz. We had a huge endowment in Santa Cruz, so we didn't really have to fundraise.
Yeah.
Which was nice. It's a good situation. It was a cush situation. We moved down here, my family and I, to be closer to my parents. When we came to Vista, the club was struggling, and it was also 2007, 2008, when the economy was in the toilet. And thankfully, the board extended grace and gave me some time, because really to get out of that, it was a tough challenge. And we had some personnel issues and board drama. But the toughest part of it still is just the fundraising and getting there. I mean, our fundraising is up, but when you tie that in with inflation, it's still, we're always struggling to get by and looking at creative new ways to raise money so we can serve more kids in the community.
Yeah. How can businesses help? So, we're the chamber, we're connected with businesses. How can businesses help you either with fundraising or connecting to the kids in some way?
There's so many different ways to help, which is really nice. One is service projects, like take a company, for example, like Union Bank's coming this Saturday at our Boys and Girls Club just to spend 4 hours helping fix up a room, paint a room, organize, that sort of thing. So it could be a one-time deal. It could be a monthly volunteer thing. It could be quarterly, whatever. That's an easy way, and it's a lot of fun for the employees, especially with the holidays coming around. We have a lot of companies help out with adopt a family type programs. So our club members will give us lists of their needs and clothing sizes, and it's a really special way of connecting the community, businesses to families. So that's one way. The other way is we're always looking for dedicated board members and volunteers to serve individually. We really appreciate having leaders step up and sharing their skill sets with us to help us help the board get to the next level. Other ways they can help out is sponsorships for various events that we have. We have a few. We've got our gala coming up in March 4th of 2023. And then we have end of year giving. We have many different vehicles where they can help out. And then some companies have matching gifts too. So if the employee gives something, their company will match it too. So those are always great ways to help too.
So tell me more about the Adopt a Family. When does that program launch this year?
Yeah, it launches right after Thanksgiving, and it'll go usually a week before Christmas time, and that gives us ample time to get all the donations in and deliver them to the families. Great.
Okay. And then the gala. So the gala's coming up in March.
Yes.
And you have a celebration.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Super special. It's our 60th birthday in Vista. And March 4th, it's going to be at the West End in Carlsbad. And we're honoring one of our lifelong volunteers, current board member, all-around cool guy, Dan Villasenor from Peppertree Frosty.
Amazing.
Yep. I believe he was the 7th Boys Club member back then to join back in Vista. And he's just been an incredible help to the club over the years. And he's somebody that his own business helps us out. He'll donate ice cream for the kids on a weekly basis. He will do barbecues for the kids. He will come by and help out with facility help and repairs. And he kind of does this all behind the scenes too. And we love Dan.
Yeah, that's great. He was also a guest on the show, and he just raved about the Boys and Girls Club the whole time. I kept trying to ask him about Peppertree, and he kept bringing it back to Boys and Girls Club. So I know that the club has really had an impact on his life, and that's the exact kind of thing we love to see at the chamber is, when kids grow up in town, they can then become business owners or work for a company and become an employer and give back to the community. I mean, that's a real full circle moment. So I'm really excited to hear that you're going to honor Danny at the gala and celebrate your 60th birthday. That's great.
Yeah, we're so excited. We're hoping to get a lot of his friends in the community to join us in supporting Dan because he's been with us since the very beginning.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, so tell me also about about the Youth of the Year. So I know there's a Youth of the Year program, and last year, the Youth of the Year was an amazing singer, and she actually sang the national anthem at our Strawberry Festival. So how are students chosen for that? Tell me about it.
Well, it's somewhat similar to the Rising Star program with the Chamber, but we have a Member of the Month celebration, and each of our staff select their Member of the Month from, right now we divide the kids up by grade level.
Okay.
So second grade will have their winner, third grade will have their winner, and so forth. And then from that group of, say, 6 or 7 kids, we'll pick one overall winner for that month.
Okay.
And then from that pool of the 12 kids, we'll choose one Youth of the Year overall winner for the Boys and Girls Club. And last year was Grace Taylor. She's amazing representative of the Boys and Girls Club. And they have the opportunity then to not only participate in our Youth of the Year event, but participate in a county Youth of the Year event with all the 8 other Boys and Girls Clubs. And through each of these little events, they get scholarship money for school. And then there's a state Youth of the Year event. We had a winner of that out of all the California clubs about 8 years ago, which was amazing.
That's so
and then it goes national. So and it keeps going on. And to me, that event represents our mission at the best. These are kids that have been through the Boys and Girls Club. They're going through it, and they exemplify everything we stand for, and being good character leaders, succeeding academically, and making all the right decisions in life.
Yeah, that's great.
Hi, it's Carrie from Solitude Home in Vista, California. If you're looking for ways to brighten and cool your home, we are your natural light and fresh air experts. We offer a selection of daylighting and ventilation products to help make your home beautiful and comfortable. And the best part of all is you won't be using any electricity to brighten up. We can bring beautiful, natural light into those dark spaces in your home, transforming them into beautifully lit spaces in less than 2 hours. No mess, no fuss, just amazing natural light to make your home look and feel great. If you're looking to cool off your home, we have a complete line of ventilation products to keep your home and garage cool. We want to make cooling and refreshing your home easier and more energy efficient than ever with our line of whole house fans, solar attic fans, and garage fans. Our certified installers carry the full line of Solitude daylighting and ventilation products on their vans at all times. Installation can usually be done in about 2 hours. No messy drywall, paint repair, structural changes, or re-roofing needed. It's pretty much the easiest home improvement project you'll ever take on. At Solitude Home, we offer no obligation appointments throughout Southern California. Visit our website at solitudehome.com or stop by our showroom conveniently located in Vista at 2210 Oak Ridge Drive, or give us a call, 619-375-1629. We look forward to brightening your day.
At J&R Auto Body and Paint, you don't have to worry about a thing. From minor dents and dings to major collision repair, we offer a worry, hassle-free experience with superior customer service. Our auto claim advisors work directly with your insurance company, so you don't have to deal with the headaches. Our certified technicians work on all makes and models to get your repair done right the first time. We stand behind our work with a lifetime warranty. Locally and family-owned, J&R Auto Body is here to serve the community. Call us today at 760-724-4923.
So I have to tell a little personal story. So I serve on the board of the Boys and Girls Club. So I don't know if I said that at the beginning.
You were awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoy the work, and it's just really meaningful for me. And for me personally, growing up in Texas, I was from a divorced home and also latchkey kid, and going to Boys and Girls Club after school really was so impactful for me. And in addition to meeting lifelong, I have friends that I'm still friends with that I met, in the third grade, because I moved schools a lot, but I went to the same Boys and Girls Club. So even if I was at a different school, I still had the same friends in elementary school at the club. And one of the ways that it also impacted me was I was introduced to the Big Brothers and Sisters program through the Boys and Girls Club. And I actually ended up with a big sister, and we were matched when I was 8, and we're still very best friends. And in fact, I talked to her yesterday. So her impact on my life was really, there aren't enough words to describe how valuable that relationship was. And so I just have a personal special connection to the Boys and Girls Club. And so when the opportunity came up for me to serve on the board, I was so excited, and it just felt like just the right fit for me, and being able to help. And even, I mean, really the role of the board is as much as you want to put into it. And so I appreciate that there's that flexibility, but it's fun. So thank you for that opportunity. I really enjoy working with you, and you've done such a great job with the club, especially navigating through the pandemic when every nonprofit was just like, what are we going to do? I feel like, the club has really been successful. So kudos to you.
That's fantastic to hear your story about your mentor. And really that's what Boys and Girls Clubs are about, is a lot of times kids will forget what sort of programs we're doing 20, 30 years from now, but they'll remember the people and that sense of belonging, and that they were made to feel useful and competent in something, and they discover something they're really good at, and that they could try that they normally wouldn't have that opportunity to give it a try. So That's awesome.
I meet business people all the time through the chamber who say, I went to the Boys and Girls Club of Vista. I grew up in Vista. I went to the Boys and Girls Club. It's just a common thread that we hear from people if they grew up here, and they have such fond memories of it. And really those skills that they learn there is so great. So you're doing great work.
Thank you. But we're just one part of that puzzle piece with the schools, community, chamber, that sort of thing. And it's when we all kind of come together that we can really make an impact and transform lives.
Well, that's what we are trying to do at the chamber, just make those connections and to help everybody work together. And of course, I mean, you guys have been around for 60 years. You've been doing a great job without us, but it's great. So is there anything that we haven't talked about the club that you really want people to know, or maybe people don't know about the club that you just think should be highlighted?
Well, there's a lot of misconceptions about Boys and Girls Club. But one, we found out through the community, we were doing kind of a market study on it. A lot of our neighbors thought it was a club, like a country club. We're not a country club. We're not exclusive. We are open for all kids, all different backgrounds, ages, that sort of thing. So we definitely have room for kids, and we want to help kids. And
it's affordable.
It's affordable. We have a sliding scale that ranges from you pay nothing to about $250 a month, which includes transportation, meals, all the programs. So we're here to help. And we definitely want to go to where the kids are in Vista. So we are looking to expand as well, too, because at our current building on California Avenue, we are jam-packed most of the time. And we do have some openings at Raintree, but we want to really get to where the kids are. And that's kind of why we, back in 06, 07, we started those middle school programs, because it was easier for parents to pick up their kids at the same school when they get off of work and that sort of thing. But in terms of, I guess the big thing is, if your kid growing up in Vista, we'd love to have you be part of our club. If you're in high school, please come to us. We're still here for you, but we're here to help with community service hours. We can help with internships. If you're in college, think about volunteering with us. When it's your first job, think about bringing your employer to the Boys and Girls Club for a team building thing where you can serve ice cream to kids for a couple hours. And then, if you're retired, take all those things you learned with your business and share those skills with our kids. Because, a lot of times our kids don't have all the opportunities that everybody else does. And then lastly, this is kind of morbid, but if you're going to the Boys and Girls Club up in the sky, leave us a legacy gift so we can continue these programs for another 60 years.
Yeah, so really there's a way to be engaged with the club from the time that you're a little bitty kiddo all the way until the end.
Yep.
You can engage with
the clubhouse in the sky.
Yeah, you can engage with the club in any way. So that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, so we're gonna move into some of my rapid fire questions. I know you mentioned that you already know what I'm gonna ask you.
I'm probably your biggest subscriber of the podcast. I love it.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you very much. And so first up is a book that you think everyone should read.
I do too.
Yes.
Okay, one?
You may.
Okay.
Because since you're my biggest subscriber.
Okay, thank you. Personally, probably The Little Prince. Okay. I love that story, and Boys and Girls Club has many princes and little princesses, and that tell me to just kind of look at the world in a different way when I get too serious. And then professionally, a book by Peter Shankman called Zombie Loyalists, which is a marketing book about turning your current customers into rabid zombies for your cause and infecting them with the good work you're doing in the community. So I love that book.
That sounds like a good one. I have not heard of it, so I'll put that on my list to read. I have read The Little Prince.
Yes.
Okay, a song you always have to turn up. What's your jam, Matt?
Well, I'm a music journalist, so
but that's tough.
I might lose some street cred, but I really, really love the Cars, Just What I Needed.
Okay.
I love the vocals, the guitar. Definitely see how it influenced a lot of later bands like Pixies and Nirvana. That's my jam.
Okay.
Yeah. That was tough to decide, too.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you had some advance notice to think about it then. So now that I know you play guitar, I think I'm going to have to hear you play it on guitar at some point.
It's bad guitar, but
okay. That's fine. It's better than mine, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me something that inspires you.
I know everybody says this. It's my family. It's my parents. My dad's a psychologist. My mom's a nurse. So they're in the business of helping people. My wife's a funeral director, so she's helping people in different capacities. And my kids, my two daughters, they're just very strong-willed and passionate people. And I'm just so happy with all the choices they're making in life and the good people that they're becoming.
Yeah.
And then locally, Dan
Of
Villasenor.
course.
That guy, he's amazing. And what's neat about him,
kind.
He never has a bad word to say about anybody. And he kind of gets me to think about things in a different way and a different perspective. So that's one. And Terry Woods would be the other one. When we first moved down here, my first weekend, I met Terry at the Boys and Girls Club with North Coast Church, and I had heard through Howard Amen, who was filling in as the executive director. Howard's a legend,
For
too.
the Day of Service, right?
Day of Service.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to expect. I was used to small-scale events in Santa Cruz. Come there's 200 people at the Boys and Girls. I didn't know what I was getting into. It was amazing, and Terry was really the ringleader behind that whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. He tells a story about when the Day of Service and having to reach out to someone at the city to borrow tools, and that person was me. And so it's funny that it's just like
that's hilarious.
Just a small world.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me a Vista business that deserves a shout out.
Okay. I've thought about this long and hard.
Oh,
I don't think they've been mentioned.
Okay.
I love Mamas and Papas.
Yeah.
It reminds me of so many good memories with my family. I just think it's wonderful. I love their family. They have a special, and their salad dressing's the best.
The best salad
It's the
dressing.
best. I don't know what it is. We've tried to recreate it at home,
we
and
tried.
we can't.
Nope.
We love it. We love it. And I just really like. I heard a cool story about them too. I know the owner just passed away, which is sad, but I had heard back in the 90s, I guess there was a little bit of a gang problem in Vista, and gang members or wannabes or whatever, they were robbing local businesses and restaurants and that sort of thing, and just really creating a tough time for local business owners. And I had heard, I don't know if this is true or not, that
urban legends,
that they tried to rob Mamas and Papas, and the owner, Fred, locked them in and held them at gunpoint until the police came.
Whoa.
So, and that ended all the robberies of the local businesses.
Whoa.
And to me, that's thumbs up on my book. I don't endorse vigilante justice, but I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we have to figure out how we can find out.
I know.
Although maybe I don't want to know if it's true.
I don't know.
I just want to believe it.
It's a cool story.
That is a cool story.
I haven't heard of anybody getting robbed lately, so that's good.
We just had Mamas and Papas at our house over the weekend.
Oh.
We eat there regularly. It's
so cool.
good.
Yeah.
So good. And you're right about the dressing. We've tried to make it at our own home, and it's just doesn't work.
No. It's a special combo, and that's probably the only salad I ever eat. Regrettably. Regrettably.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for being here. Thank you to my guest, Matt Koumaras from the Boys and Girls Club. And thank you for listening to Velocity. If you like what you heard, please tell a friend and subscribe. Help us move Vista forward with Velocity. The Vista Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit organization that serves as a catalyst for business growth. Visit us online at vistachamber.org.